Hey, remember Orphan of Kos? Good news, he was adopted by Saint Trina. He even got a pet pony. Bad news though, now he's got frostbite, and he's wobbling anyone who drops down into his little crater. But is the bone taco a good weapon? Are the blue fire slime spells worth using? And more importantly, is using either of those things with no armor gonna make this a maddening run? Today we discover whether or not the Putrescent Knight is worse or better than the Maddening Hand. It could be bad, but maybe there will be a twist, or several twists. Hey everybody, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. To watch these runs live, follow us on Twitch. We're playing Elden Ring and other games like Marvel Rivals. To watch those videos, check out Tulok Time. For some Magic the Gathering fun, check out Tulok the Cardbarian, and for D&D 5e homebrew, check out Tulok the Barbarian. Now let's get started by breaking our back. You know, most of our needle drops are a 10 out of 10, but that one goes to 11. First thing we do is break our stats down from Egon to have a nice mixture of everything. Goddamn everything. The axe scales with strength and arcane and not intelligence, despite it being frostbite, and every other frostbite thing being intelligence based. Then you got the spells, which require intelligence and faith to scale because they're death sorceries. But that means they get a boost from the Prince of Death's staff. And since this is an NG plus run, we can get 2 of them and double the boost, right? Right? Well, you'd think so, but for whatever reason, they don't get boosted by the staff, even though they are death spells.
What? This is outrageous.
Of course, they just use the standard scaling of any spellcasting thing you use, so smartly, I invest mostly in Arcane, knowing that we can get an Arcane scaling staff, and then just use the bare minimum of faith to cast the spell. Brilliant. Hop on the turtleback for a duplicated remembrance, then get tempted to try the axe on the Albinaurics.
I gotta do it, man.
And it didn't go great. Apparently we must have used all of the Somber 10s in the world because we need the one from Elphael, and the twist fully misses the Putrid Avatar while we're right next to it. Not encouraging. Not an encouraging start. For the staff of choice, I'm grabbing the finger staff from Ymir, which means we first twist up Jiolan. Turns out this is pretty good against NPCs. Doesn't use very much FP, and they don't know what to do about the super armor. Also, it looks funny. That's so important. Now Ymir is a little more seriously annoying. Dude teleports away and messes up my lock-on. You want to be mother? More like mother sit still. The finger staff scales with intelligence and arcane, so it should help us cut down on the madness, slap on both putrescent spells, and I think we're already ready to get started. That was fast. Almost as fast as getting started with a new website using today's sponsor, Squarespace. That's right, gamers, this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Confession time, gamers. I am not very good at design. I don't understand layouts, I don't understand color schemes. All of it is sort of just a jumbled mess in my mind. That's why I love the design intelligence feature from Squarespace. It combines 2 decades of industry-leading design experience with cutting-edge technology to make sure that your website is looking great, even if you don't really know how to make it look great. Squarespace will help you with design intelligence. We built our website on your work computer in an afternoon as a goof. I just thought it would be funny, and it was also fun to design the website using Squarespace. They'll also help your customers find your website with SEO tools to make sure that your engine optimization is searchable. Everyone's gonna find your website. When you're using Squarespace, the only people who won't know about your website are people living under a rock, and that's because they can't plug a computer in. No outlets under a rock. Squarespace also helps you and your customers by accepting so many different forms of payment. Klarna, ACH, Direct Debit, Apple Pay, PayPal, credit cards, even ClearPay and Afterpay if you're cool with your customers buying now and paying later. To get started today, go to squarespace.com for a free trial. Then when you're ready to publish, go to squarespace.com/tulokmango for 10% off your first website or domain. Again, that is squarespace.com/tulokmango to get 10% off your first website or domain. Now, let's get back to twisting. Let's see how that mass of putrescence works. Bit of a windup and... okay, let's try the AoE and... I think we're going to use the axe. Mostly, for the most part. We're going to use the axe for the most part. I don't need to get the fans of the putrescent spells mad at me. Both of you can just enjoy this thing. But I'm gonna sprint Renala and change our stats to never use these pieces of garbage again. Apparently they're like magma spells, you're supposed to miss with them and they explode on the floor, and that sucks. I don't want to do that. It'd be fucked up if we only tried the spells once, right? I mean, look, I'll hit Margit with them. Get fucked. Here's an R1. 6 times the damage from an R1. 8 times the damage from a jump attack. Oh, wait. No, we didn't level up the staff. The staff is at +0. That's why it's... We leveled up the staff. Okay, the sorcery scaling is 257. It did 175 damage? What is that? What percentage is that? 70? Does it do 70% of the incant scaling after this much fucking wind up? Wait, how much magic does that cost? Try the other one against Godric. It does less than an R1 with the axe. Now hey, this axe, it's alright. Hits pretty hard. We almost one cycle Godric. Hey, that Great Rune should also help out with the madness, right? Multi-ability dependentness for the non-D&D gamers out there. Bobby gets hit with a little twist right at the end, always fun, but I'm more interested in my favorite game show. Can Moongrum parry it? That's a no. Against Renala, I wanted to do a twisty on all the kids, but I ran out of endurance. Oh well. We can push her to phase 2 with just the twist. That means it's just as good as hitting R1.
Wow.
Renala will let us respec, so intelligence and faith, goodbye, losers. I'm cranking arcane strength and endurance so I can maximize my twisting potential. I'm like M. Night Shyamalan out here, and signs are pointing to this being a good build. Sure, our lack of armor makes us less than unbreakable, but I'm feeling like it'll be good. Some sort of premonition, or a sixth sense, if you will. Especially after how easy it was to beat that lady in the water. If this was a speedrun, we'd have great blitz. That's the last one I can remember off the top of my head. After Earth. Let's imagine the Putrescent Knight in Fort Putrescent Knight. Then we make a visit to the Dragon Barrel. Oh shit, The Visit. That's another one. That's another Shyamalan movie. The Visit. Anyway, we hit Grail and Putrid Avatar for funsies. And for runsies. Runza. All of that just hit Altus early so we can see Radahn and Twist. Here we go. Yeah, it's a one cycle. Twisting is fun, and at this point the lack of armor isn't really a big deal. Ritual Shield Talisman and the damage reduction tier are keeping us pretty well protected. Mimic gets twisted, believe it or not, bare fists are not good at protecting you against the power of one twisty boy. Regal Ancestor Spirit falls down and we could crit it, or, and here's the twist, we twist. That worked great. Now, can we carry a manor? Maybe if we lift with our back, that shit does not break. Loretta is a ghost horse, but even she can't stop the power of a slime taco spinning at 1,000 revolutions per second. I don't know if that's an accurate measurement. What do I look like? Mr. Revolutions or something? Lake of Rot is uneventful as per usual, and then we fight Astel. I feel like he's kind of the Putrescent Knight of the base game. Hangs out in a stupidly inaccessible underground wet area. It's unclear what the connection to the Empyrean is that they're kind of protecting, and they're disgusting, gray and twisty.
You're ugly!
You know what will go great with boggart shrimp? A bigger, grayer shrimp. That's what they look like raw. And honestly, it's fine to get them frozen, especially if you're in the Midwest. The Noble could probably have gone better if I didn't try and twist, but I did, so that's how it went. He's using the pillars to cheese me! First try win, just a little sloppy. Ignore the fact that I picked up the Serpent Hunter here. We definitely did Rykard in the Egon run, and everyone remembers seeing it. It's not like we ever talk about it anyway. I always just skip it and move on. Gargoyles pretty heavily resist slash, but they don't resist bash. This doesn't do bash. It does slash. They should make all the physical damage types rhyme. Change strike to bash and piercing to stab. Fia's champs, prepare yourselves. It's about to twist in here. Twisting works great until we get endured. The last Fia champ endures us and is able to just wallop for massive damage, almost as though we're not wearing any armor. Oh well, second try we get the win and a death sorcery for our trouble. Lord knows we love using the death sorceries. Let's go twist it up on God.
Come on, let's twist again, like we did last summer.
No twist for the Godfrey shade. I know when it will work and when it won't. Here it won't, but hitting will work. And we can hit pretty good. I'll be honest, I don't love how much of an innie this one is. It kind of curves into us. Now, we do twist the Black Knife Assassin because they're weak to frost, but more importantly, because it's funny. Morgott we can twist a little. He doesn't do insane damage right away. We get the frostbite as he hits the Morg Tua and spits on that arena, which means we can twist for a win in phase 2. Then make a realization. What the fuck? What? Is he always here?
I've been here the whole time.
Is that the first time I've noticed it? Embarrassing. This is my first time playing through the game. For Dem Lands, Putrescent Knight is an agent of Trina, I think. Sleep. So what if instead of Sleepy Joe, we got Sleepy Everyone? Let everyone sleep more, push for a raise to wages and a shortening of the work week. Did you know there are actually more people working 2 or more jobs than there are unemployed people? It's true. We're overemployed. Cut the hours, raise the wages, and see how much happier everyone is working 30 hours a week instead of 40. Or at least pitch it. People might like that. Famous pinko commie leftist Richard Nixon thought we'd be at a 30-hour work week within 10 years of his presidency and missed that deadline by a bit, which is wild because we shouldn't be missing any deadlines when we're working more hours than ever before. What the hell? Fire Giant. No. I'm literally saying pay him more to work less hours. We bonk up the ankle, stance pressure's pretty good, great axes are pretty good. But his frostbite resistance is so high we don't get it. Stance break early in phase 2, so we twist in his eye like a corkscrew.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't like reading that either. Sorry for the visual image. Godskins are weakest to slash, which for some reason this giant severed spine does. They can also be frostbitten. We don't spin until the second noble. It goes poorly. Black Flame Ritual, more like no fun zone. It ruins so many silly moves. Swag the jump, bird the run, and we're already over to Malekith. This stumpy axe makes phase 1 a problem, but only phase 1. You know that after we make this religious dog into a goth dog, it's already over. Quick stance break, frostbite proc. Just kidding, this thing puts frostbite on slower than Minnesota Januaries. Why is it still 50 degrees outside? What's happening? Climate change. Or if you're more of a skeptic, the globalist elites with their weather-changing devices. Yeah, you're so skeptical. Definitely don't just believe whatever you're told. Can we simply twist Gideon to death? No, he has light rolling, so he's able to stall out our endurance. It's fine. The axe is long enough for the patented walk forward hit R1 technique. Amazing. Gideon, more like giddy up, because we're riding through this fight like a cowboy rides through the desert. I know people say they want Bloodborne 2 to be a deep sea exploration type game. I want it to be way out of left field. Rootin', tootin', shootin', Bloodborne tootin'. Wild West Bloodborne 2. Eldritch Horror meets cowboys and 6 shooters. Not much to talk about in the Godfrey fight. It's the same as the Shade fight. Radahn gets weirder, we're hitting him, that's pretty normal, but after we get the stance break, he lives with a sliver, teleports away, and dies. What? What? No time to dwell on that weirdness, we need to fight the weird space slug, and it gets to live a lot longer than usual. This weapon isn't super well suited for this fight, or really any fight. It's always fine. It's not terrible, but it's nothing special. Obviously, we end it with twisting. Was that even a question? Of course not, but the real question is, can we twist Malenia and the other easier bosses?
Just like you should my neck.
My back. Oh, my back.
Per Pokemon logic, dragons are weak to ice types, but Placidusax isn't a dragon. He's fire lightning, kind of like Charizard, where it's that is a dragon design, but the game says, no it isn't. We don't get the frostbite until the very end, and it's all over at that point anyway. Neat. Fortisax is also not a dragon, ghost lightning here. That's why our frostbite didn't pop, or because this thing can't make anything cold. Nile is ice lightning, with his 2 ice ghost types. I don't know why I'm doing Pokemon types right now. We're gonna do it for this whole section, because I need to mix it up. I gotta keep the format interesting to myself, and hopefully to you. No armor isn't the big penalty people think it is, at least not for me. I think it's because so many of the DLC runs we wanted to do have such light armor. Case in point, this. I remember thinking, oh no, what's gonna happen when I do Romina, Midra, and the Putrescent Knight? And so far, I guess I'm gonna have a great time and wallop everything. I still suspect Gaius will be the best new game remembrance when we do that, but we'll see when we get there. Really should have gotten the Eleonora tier. That way we could have twisted Moog and it would be like he's counting how many twists we did. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Obviously Fire Dark type here. He's got big Hound Doom energy. We actually get the Frostbite right at the end, which is pretty wild considering his blood is on fire. Howling Tree is pretty uneventful till we get to the Fairy Steel type Loretta. Magic is generally considered fairy type. Malenia is probably going to be classic grass poison. I could see steel poison because she's wearing armor, but she ditches that and makes a flower, but she also makes a butterfly, so maybe bug. She's got that Toxic Croak problem where it's like this Pokemon needs 5 different types. Fight goes great. She can be frostbitten relatively easily. We can't twist her too much super armor. Onion 2, she goes right into the Rotterfowl dance, so RIP to that run. Second attempt, I actually try the twist and it does kind of work a little bit. It would work better if we had more armor. That way the crackback wouldn't crack our back as much as our back cracks when we crack our back.
Oh, my back!
It's kind of like a fancier Wild Strikes. Patience is the name of the game. Wait for an opening and swing in. Our weapon is short, but not too short that strategy won't work. Super fast super bosses, like only an hour for all 4 of them. Time to prove that the Putrescent is the best boss of the DLC.
You're simply the best!
Dancing Lion gets to go first because he's closest to the entrance. That's it. That's why he always gets to be first. Lord knows we'll be walking around a lot. For whatever reason, I forgot how to dodge, or our circle button was broken.
Please, no Johns.
Yeah, whatever, Reggie. I don't know. Sometimes it feels like I'm trying to roll and the game said no, but obviously that's not true. It's just a twisty dude with weird timing that makes him trickier to avoid. It's just a little 2-attempt fight, nothing too serious. Rolana also has those hands. Both of those hands have swords in them that are carving us up. We actually end up seeing the moons for the first time in a while, and then we die. Attempt 2, we're doing about the same, but I believe. That's the difference. I believe in the power of the twist. When she hits phase 2, we start twisting, and that works great. Should have twisted earlier, should have believed in myself, my bad. Gaius is better with light load to a point. It helps you avoid the big charge, but it's also bad for Gaius because he hits quite hard. We don't get a stance break until phase 2 and then just lose all of our health to one bucking bronco pig thing. Next attempt goes better. We put the pressure on faster, get the stance break in phase 1, and then get into that classic, lovely Gaius healing spiral. Classic, even though he's been a boss for less than a year. The lower armor sucks, and I decide it's time to bring in an expert. Fun fact about the Putrescent Knight, when it hits that twist move, there are actually 2 Putrescent Knights in the game. They have a second one loaded in under the ground. You only know that if you're able to see between the code like me. A second Putrescent Knight makes bosses go smoother. Isn't that special? Mesmer can't be poise locked into a big twist, big bummer. He can be frostbitten though, and it doesn't even take that many hits. But also, if you don't have armor, sometimes startup of the Snake Flurry will just insta-kill you. Wear armor, folks. I hope that's not something you needed me to tell you. We win after the second Putrescent Knight gets grabbed, and we just wait for the punish. Whenever you're ready, buddy. Whenever you're done. Okay, there we go. Sunflower should crumble underneath the impossible cold of this taco. I don't know if it can be frostbitten, but hitting it in the face is good enough if the frostbite doesn't work, because it's just not gonna work on a lot of stuff. 55. It's not a lot. Ancient Dragon Man gets twisted, simple enough. Now, how well do 2 Putrescent Knights fight 2 other Putrescent Knights? Poorly. The frostbite on the boss is actually effective, especially because our robustiness is the lowest it can be. We don't have any trousers. We don't have any robustiness. Third try, we get really lucky, getting our stance break right before the phase transition, so we skip over the transition window, which means no blue fire for the rest of the fight, less frostbite, and an easier win. We don't have to talk about Anna every time, but we will today because it was funny. She went down first. Meteor doesn't like slashing, but that's what we do, so it should be in our favor, except that we are naked. Good stance break and crit pretty fast, and as we take it out, I can hot swap in the experienced talismans, fastest hands in the West. The Midwest. Terrible name for what it is. It's the mid. It's just the mid. It's not the midway to the west. It's just the mid. But I'm in Minnesota, which is the top of the mid, the peak of the mid, if you will. And that is how I would describe most things about myself. I am the peak of mid. Romina has good slash resistance. Good, not great. It's 40. 40 is also pretty mid. Instead of punishing the last stance break with a crit, we just twist. Bless the twist. It never mists. I spelled it wrong in the script. Don't worry. Jory tries to be a stinker, but I simply won't allow it, not with our second Putrescent Knight here. I wish there were more interesting spirit ash we could have used, like, couldn't we get these stone coffin fissure caterpillars? We couldn't get a sleepy ogre? No misbegotten. That one is actually wild. No leonine misbegotten spirit ash. Midra would be from the Midwest. He put the mid right there. It goes fine until... Oh my god! Yo, he fucking jorped for it! He fucking jorped. Yeah, I got jorped. Who knew that the guy who's got atrophied limbs from being a human Christmas tree for a decade could also be an Olympic long jumper? Time for Letta and the gang. Looks like we forgot Ansbach.
Ruh-roh. Zoinks.
Jinkies! Jeepers!
Nutton can get the Letta fight done for us, and surely Ansbach would have only held us back against Radahn, and that might actually be true. He's got fire attacks, and fire resets frostbite. Did you know, streamer man, that fire resets the frostbite, and also you can skip Radahn's arrow phase by backing up? Some people like that because it lets you reapply the big chunk of frostbite damage fast. Not me. I like the damage boost you get from frostbite more. I feel like I generally get more out of it. You could show me the math to prove it's suboptimal, but I already knew I was a optimal gamer. Sorry. Needed to get some water there. Let's make Radahn feel the wrath of the cold taco. I mean, are we an abandoned Leonard? That's one theory I've seen as to why he's got such a hoarse chest. That, or he went to a concert the night before. Lightload continues to be a double-edged taco. It makes some of our rolls good, but it also makes the bad rolls very, very bad. That's more on my skills, but, you know. Ow. Phase 2 starts, no stance break for the noose, so we just kinda gotta take it. Take a hit, bringing in our horse. The mimic is just the horse. Not a terrible first attempt. We didn't win, but it looks like it's gonna be doable. Attempt 2, I get our horse out faster. In phase 2, he starts spinning. I am so fucking proud of him, you guys. Oh my god. To be fair, if I had 1,000 more health, I'd be spinning too. We get another stance break. Can we get the frostbite, please? We've gotta be close. Ah! Didn't even jump! Yeah, didn't even jump. Didn't even do the meteor. That's how good this is. And by how good this is, I mean, I just sort of timed the stance break at a really good time and the frostbite at a really good time. Jagged Peak Drakes, not from the Midwest. Don't know where he's from, but I don't like him. We die, but he died too, so we take those. Egon still liked the fight. That's nice. Bale gets stance broken, but he's so far away when that happens, so no twisting. Oh no. Yeah, anyway, overall it was kind of a bad run. Mimic was a rescue, and it only got to be there because, if you'll remember from the last video, I kind of wanted to see if this would be worse than the Matting Hand. And if Matting Hand gets the Mimic, this gets the Mimic. So drum roll, is this worse than Matting Hand? Brrr, no. God no. The status effect works. Doesn't work great, but it works sometimes. The reach is usable. Not great, but it works most of the time. The damage is fine. Not great, but when we put points into a stat, our damage number goes up every time. So that's nice. I might be damning this with faint praise, but C tier, it can get the job done. Improvements? Put armor on. Doi, maybe Godskin Swaddling Cloth. No idea if that works with the twist. Didn't test it, not trying it, but you can. You can do that. To be honest, if you want to do what this does but better, Death's Poker. It's not as stylish, but it procs the frost better, does more damage, has better reach, and what the fuck am I talking about? It's pretty stylish. Twisting is its own reward though. It's funnier. Twist it up and don't use the spells, they're bad. Weather on the 8s. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We're doing this all the time. Join us on Twitch. That's where we're streaming. I think we're currently working on Minecraft hardcore difficulty when I've never played Minecraft before. It's messy. It's bad, I'm bad at it, and it's kind of fun. It's also really frustrating if you know Minecraft. Tulok the Carbarian, that's where we're playing Magic. Tulok the Barbarian, that's where we're making D&D 5e homebrew. And oh my god, there's actually videos up now. I can stop saying we don't have videos. There are videos. Go check those out. Bye.